In the vibrant landscape of American confectionery during the 1970s, a decade marked by cultural shifts, economic fluctuations, and a growing emphasis on novelty in everyday treats, certain candies rose to prominence, capturing the imaginations and taste buds of millions. This era saw the candy industry experimenting with textures, flavors, and marketing strategies that often mirrored the playful yet practical spirit of the time. While some sweets had roots in earlier decades, they achieved peak popularity in the 1970s, fueled by television advertising, innovative packaging, and the simple joy of affordable indulgence amid rising inflation. What follows is an exploration of 10 particularly famous candies from that period, each contributing in its own way to the sweet nostalgia many associate with the disco age. Though, realistically, most people were enjoying these treats while watching sitcoms on the couch rather than under a glittering disco ball. One cannot discuss 1970s American candies without starting with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, which truly solidified their status as a national favorite during this decade. Introduced much earlier in 1928 by H.B. Reese, a former dairy employee who worked for Hershey before striking out on his own, these cups combine smooth milk chocolate with a creamy peanut butter filling in a ratio that has been debated endlessly ever since. By the 1970s, after Hershey's acquired the brand in 1963, national television campaigns pushed them into the spotlight, making the orange wrap duo a staple in convenience stores, supermarkets, and trick-or-treat bags. The appeal lay in the perfect marriage of sweet and salty, a combination that felt indulgent yet somehow substantial enough to pass as a snack. Sales figures from the era consistently placed them among the top-selling chocolate items, and they benefited from the growing popularity of peanut butter as an all-American ingredient. It's fair to say that without Reese's, many childhood memories of trading Halloween candy would lack that one coveted item everyone fought over, though some might argue it was just an elaborate way to consume peanut butter without bread. Closely competing for shelf space and consumer loyalty was the Snickers bar, a hearty confection that dominated candy aisles throughout the 1970s. Created by Mars, incorporated in 1930 and named after the family's favorite horse, Snickers layered peanuts, caramel, nougat, and milk chocolate into a bar that promised more than mere sweetness. It offered satisfaction. The slogan "Snickers satisfies" became a cultural touchstone, perfectly timed for an era when Americans were increasingly busy with work, school, and leisure activities like attending drive-in movies or weekend sports events. Marketed as a quick energy boost or even a mini meal replacement, it appealed to those who needed something substantial between meals, especially in a time before widespread protein bars. Its dense texture meant it held up well in pockets or lunchboxes without turning into a melted mess, a practical advantage in pre-air-conditioned cars during hot summers. By mid-decade, Snickers regularly topped sales charts for non-seasonal candy bars, outselling many competitors thanks to clever advertising that portrayed it as the antidote to hunger pangs. Another enduring classic that reached new heights of fame in the 1970s was M&M's, the candy-coated milk chocolates known for their colorful shells and clever marketing. Launched in 1941 to prevent chocolate from melting on soldiers' hands during World War II, the plain variety dominated the market in the early 1970s, with peanut M&M's gaining ground later in the decade. The iconic tagline, "Melts in your mouth, not in your hand," was hammered home through countless television commercials, making the candies synonymous with convenience and fun. Bags of M&Ms were ubiquitous at parties, movie theaters, and family gatherings, where sorting them by color provided harmless entertainment during long road trips or rainy afternoons. Their hard shell allowed for easy sharing without sticky fingers, and the variety of colors added a visual appeal that chocolate bars simply couldn't match. Production innovations in the 1970s helped keep prices reasonable despite inflation, ensuring they remained a go-to treat for children and adults alike. Shifting away from chocolate dominance, Starburst chews burst onto the American scene with remarkable force during the 1970s. Originally introduced in the United Kingdom as Opal Fruits in 1960, they were rebranded and launched in the US by Mars around 1967, but it was the 1970s when they truly exploded in popularity. These individually wrapped, square fruit chews came in flavors like strawberry, lemon, orange, and lime, delivering an intensely juicy experience that the slogan "unexplainably juicy" aptly described. In a decade when fruit-flavored candies were gaining traction as lighter alternatives to heavy chocolate, Starburst stood out for their soft, chewy texture and bold taste profiles. They were heavily advertised on television, targeting younger consumers with vibrant commercials that emphasized the flavor burst. Packs were affordable and portable, making them ideal for school snacks or movie concessions, and the individual wrappers encouraged sharing or hoarding favorite flavors, depending on one's generosity. No list of 1970s candies would be complete without Pop Rocks, the effervescent sensation that quite literally popped in your mouth and caused a minor cultural frenzy. Invented by chemists William A. Mitchell and Leon T. Kremsner in the late 1950s while working for General Foods, Pop Rocks were not commercialized until 1975, when they hit shelves and immediately captured public attention. The candy consisted of hard sugar crystals infused with carbon dioxide gas, which created a crackling, popping effect upon contact with moisture in the mouth. Marketed with the tagline, "Makes your mouth happy," it was positioned as a novel experience rather than just a flavor, and rumors quickly spread. Most famously, the urban legend that combining Pop Rocks with cola could cause one's stomach to explode, a myth that persisted despite scientific debunking. Flavors like cherry, grape, and orange flew off shelves, and the novelty factor made them a must-have for kids seeking thrills in their treats. General Foods capitalized on the buzz with aggressive promotion, turning what could have been a niche product into a nationwide phenomenon that defined experimental candy trends of the era. Equally iconic in the novelty category were Fun Dip pouches, known earlier as Lick-M-Aid before a rebranding in the 1970s that emphasized the playful aspect. Produced by the Wonka brand under Quaker Oats after their acquisition of the line, Fun Dip consisted of flavored sugar powder packets accompanied by a candy stick, originally chalk-like and called a Lick-A-Stix, for dipping and licking. Popular flavors included cherry, grape, and lime, with the act of dipping adding an interactive element that kept children engaged longer than static candies. It gained massive traction in the mid-1970s through television ads featuring whimsical Wonka-inspired imagery, tying into the growing popularity of the brand following the 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The messiness was part of the appeal, though parents might disagree, as it often left colorful residue on fingers and faces. Affordable and shareable, Fun Dip became a staple in variety packs and party favors, embodying the decade's love for hands-on, experiential sweets. Ring Pops, those wearable gem-shaped lollipops, also emerged as a standout in the late 1970s, revolutionizing how kids consumed hard candy. Invented in 1977 by Frank Richards and marketed by Topps, the same company behind Bazooka Gum and baseball cards, Ring Pops featured a large, jewel-like candy mounted on a plastic ring base that fit on a finger. Flavors such as cherry, watermelon, and blue raspberry allowed wearers to flaunt their treat while slowly licking it over hours, or minutes, for the impatient. Launched with heavy promotion toward the end of the decade, they quickly became a fashion statement as much as a candy, appealing to the era's interest in bold, playful accessories. The durability of hard candy combined with the novelty of jewelry made them perfect for schoolyards and playgrounds, where showing off a sparkling ring pop could elevate one's social status. By the close of the 1970s, they were well on their way to becoming a cultural icon, bridging candy and toy categories in a way few others did. Bottle caps offered yet another fizzy, interactive experience that peaked in popularity during the 1970s. Introduced by Breaker Confections, later acquired by Wonka, in the early part of the decade, these tablet candies were shaped like soda bottle caps and flavored to mimic popular soft drinks: cola, root beer, orange, grape, and cherry. The effervescent texture provided a mild fizz similar to Pop Rocks but in a more controlled, soda-inspired format. Packaged in small boxes resembling cigarette packs, a design choice that raised eyebrows in later years, they were marketed as a candy version of Soda Pop, complete with the tagline, "The Soda Pop Candy." Television commercials emphasized the fun of drinking soda through candy, appealing to kids restricted from actual carbonated beverages. Their portability and variety made them popular for on-the-go snacking, and they often appeared in movie theater candy counters alongside popcorn. Pixy Stix brought pure sugar rush to the forefront, maintaining strong popularity throughout the 1970s as a simple yet addictive treat. Essentially flavored sugar poured into straw-like paper tubes, Pixy Stix were created in the 1950s by Sunline Incorporated, but gained renewed vigor under the Wonka umbrella after acquisitions. Flavors like grape, cherry, orange, and Maui punch allowed consumers to either pour the powder directly into their mouths or use it to flavor drinks, though the former was far more common among daring children. The straightforward delivery of intense sweetness with no chewing required made them a quick hit of energy, ideal for after-school boosts or Halloween hauls. Packaging in assorted bundles encouraged variety, and the low production cost kept prices accessible during economic challenges. While nutritionists might frown, Pixy Stix represented the unapologetic joy of pure confectionery indulgence that defined much of 1970s candy culture. Finally, the decade's love for tart and chewy culminated in the enduring fame of sweet tarts, which rolled into peak popularity in the 1970s. Originally launched in 1963 by Sunline as a tablet version of Pixy Stix flavors, Sweet Tarts balanced sweet and sour in small, disc-shaped candies that came in rolls similar to Life Savers. Flavors such as cherry, grape, lemon, lime, and orange provided a pucker-inducing tang followed by sweetness, appealing to those who preferred complexity over straightforward sugar. Wonka's ownership brought expanded marketing, including television spots that highlighted the sweet and tart duality. Rolls were inexpensive and long-lasting, making them favorites for pocket change purchases at corner stores or as movie snacks that didn't distract with noise. Giant chewy sweet tarts were introduced later in the decade, adding texture variety, but the original tablets remained the bestseller, embodying the era's trend toward bold flavor contrasts. These 10 candies, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, M&M's, Starburst, Pop Rocks, Fun Dip, Ring Pops, Bottle Caps, Pixy Stix, and Sweet Tarts, collectively painted a picture of 1970s American confectionery as innovative, accessible, and unpretentiously fun. Manufacturers responded to cultural shifts by emphasizing novelty, interactivity, and bold flavors, often through memorable advertising that embedded the products in popular memory. Economic pressures like inflation encouraged affordable treats that delivered maximum enjoyment per penny, while television's reach amplified their visibility. Many of these sweets originated earlier but found their true stride in the 1970s, benefiting from improved distribution and marketing savvy. Today, they evoke nostalgia not just for their tastes but for the simpler pleasures of a decade when a trip to the candy store could spark genuine excitement. Though dental health campaigns would soon temper unchecked consumption, in the 1970s, these treats were simply part of growing up, one sweet bite at a time. The legacy persists, with most still available in similar forms, reminding successive generations of the enduring appeal of well-crafted confections.